I'm Steven Shepard. I'm new too. I started in July in real estate. I've been in sales, computer sales for a long time, and I like the format that EXP had, and so that's what attracted me to it. So I went and got my license and been sitting in most every one of these classes I
I know,
can.
I see you every time.
It's very helpful.
Well, how's it going?
Just getting it going. I hadn't sold anything yet, but I'm not worried about that. I know where to come.
You know what? It takes time. You just have to load your pipeline, just the more people that you talk to, and just keep talking. You know, on my team here in Las Vegas, I hired 2 brand new agents. And I think sometimes they get a little frustrated, and I keep telling them, just keep talking, just keep talking, just keep calling. And then something happens and they're like, oh, you know, and it's so exciting. And you'll see your pipeline will get loaded and everything will start coming out the end at one time. And you just got to keep shoving them in at the top. You know, you got to keep loading it. So, you know, don't give up, just keep going.
Thanks. Last week when Heather was on here, I learned a lot from her, called her, hired her. She's working on my web page and posting every day. And it's, you know, it's very positive stuff out there.
Good. Well, I wish people would put their faces on there so we know who everyone is, but it's not up to me. So anyways, hi, Brian. So, well, I mean, Nick, are we ready?
I think we're ready.
We're ready to go. Yeah, Brian didn't say hello, but he's got the camera on. He's waving. There he is.
Hello.
There you are. Hey, Brian, good to see you, man.
Brian, where are you?
Right here.
In Charlotte?
No, just kidding. Yeah, I'm in Charlotte.
Okay. Jeannie, where are you?
My name is actually Juliana. I'm sorry. I'm using my sister's computer, but I'm Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you. I don't know everybody. So if I don't see their faces, I, you know, just try to meet everybody. So
been with EXP a little bit over 2 years.
Okay. Who were you with before?
I wasn't. I'm brand new.
That's awesome. How's it going?
Going great.
Good.
I've got a closing on the 18th. I've got another one going under contract probably in a week. And I've got 3 more prospects I'm working. So, and my listing is closing on the 18th. So it's the day before my birthday. It's a good present.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Well, Heidi, we're going because you got, I know, some incredible stories and content for us to share. So I'm looking forward to it. And I got my notes ready to go.
Heidi, I just allowed you to share, so you can share anything you want.
Okay, I don't have any presentation. I don't have any PowerPoint. I'm just going to talk to you. And, you know, you guys can jump in and say whatever, you know, I mean, I'm open to it. But this is a hard, this will be a hard conversation. And Brian, you weren't on the call Wednesday, but what happened was Wednesday, the call was about team building. And I had been a team in North Carolina since before teams were cool, before people even, you know, they'd say, what are you? What are you doing? You know, they just didn't understand what was going on. Okay. And my background is in marketing, and I hit success quickly. My first year in business, I got my license in February. By the end of December, I had closed 38 homes. I didn't even know anybody, okay? But I knew how to knock on doors, and you know, I wasn't really afraid. I mean, if they could say no, okay, I'd just go to the next house, you know? So I just kept going. But then as I got busy, like I told you on Wednesday, I hired my first buyer's agent. Then she got busy, I hired my second buyer's agent. Then they got busy, and then I hired my third. And he was a guy from new construction that I stole from a builder. And, you know, he had really good training because he had worked for a builder, and they put him through all kinds of, you know, sales training and stuff. So he came to my team, and I quickly realized this. Now look how different the market was. Here I was one agent, and I carried about 60 to 80 listings. Those were not foreclosures. Those were actual people. I had been to their homes, done a presentation, done the paperwork. And listen, back then, there wasn't no tour factory. There was me taking a picture on my camera, going over to Kmart and standing there while at the 1 hour film while they developed the pictures. Nick, you're laughing, but that's how we did it in the olden days, baby.
Yeah.
So like for the front of the house, I tell them I need 20 of those pictures and how many, you know, different interiors, because I had to print out the papers and glue the pictures onto the brochure. Okay. So you can see, like, it was crazy. It was a lot of, you know, work to do. I mean, kind of time consuming junk that we don't have to do now because everything's digital. But anyways, so then, you know, I said, Tim, you have to be a listing agent because I can't do it all by myself. I was so tired. I mean, I worked all the time and I just listed. And, you know, it was crazy. So Tim started listing, and then I brought on another guy to do listings because I couldn't handle it. So my team was carrying about an inventory, about 100 listings at all times. And that's a lot for 3 agents. And also, because I have a rule on my team, and this is something I learned in my GRI course in the very beginning of my real estate career. And this is something you should write down, because this is huge that agents don't do, that people really hate about their realtors. You go out and list a house, they don't hear from you. People don't like that. So I have a rule on my team. If you're listing, every Tuesday or every Wednesday, you pick up the phone and call your seller to tell them who's come through their house, what they had to say. Yes, they can see it on showing time if you give them the automated email, but you know, that's not what it's about. This is a relationship business. So it's important that you call your sellers every week and say, you know, hey, Candace, it's Heidi. I just want to let you know this week you had 4 showings and I talked to all the agents and here's what they said. The reason that you want to do this is because you're building the relationship and you're always going to know what your client's thinking. For example, if you get a listing and you don't call the people for 60 days, you call them up one day and go, you know what, we really need to reduce the price. They're going to go, why? They're going to go, well, all these people have been showing your house and not buying it. Well, they're just hearing that from you one time now. You know, if you do this every week, if you have this conversation every week, you can kind of build up to it. Or if you call them and say, hey, I have an offer, and they say, well, we don't want to sell our house anymore. Had you been talking to them every week, you'd be taking their temperature. You'd kind of know what's going on, okay? So anyway, so I have my team doing this and, you know, calling every week, and things just started getting really crazy, okay? The market was heating up. You know, I had this big team of buyer agents. I mean, it was almost like we were just taking offers, okay? I was a RE/MAX agent at that time. And I really was enjoying success, okay? And when I say success, everybody measures it differently. You know, I didn't know that they kept track of like #1 agents or all this kind of stuff. I was in line at the copy machine one day. I looked at this bulletin board. I was reading it while I was waiting for my turn, and there was a list of top 10 agents. There was my name. That changed everything. Then I was like, oh my God. And you know what really changed it? My sister was on the list too. And she was ahead of me. And I said, oh my God, hell no. And that was it, you know? So then I was striving more because I wanted to beat my sister because we were both teams in the same market, okay? So, you know, again, the market was just heating up, we're moving along. When I say this, you know, you guys, I don't know what your reaction is going to be. I wish I could see all your faces, but I was making about $100,000 a month. Okay. That's a lot of money. If you do that for a couple of years in a row, that's a lot of money. And that's the leverage of a team. Now, some of my team members are on here and they're probably going, oh man, I got to switch how I'm doing things. But you can't do that unless you're the one that's willing to take all the risk and spend the money. I say I was making $100,000 a month, but my expenses were about $50,000 a month, okay? So I was in all these agreements with this and that, and I had all these obligations. So, and of course, you know, when you don't have a lot of money and you start making a lot of money, you start buying nice things. And this is the part that I want to share with you guys as realtors, because I see a lot of agents get caught up in this, and I even see some of my friends today. I remember one of my friends a couple years ago, I saw her buy a big Mercedes AMG. I called her up. I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "What are you, my mother?" I said, "No, but I'm going to do you a favor, you know, like try to explain to them." So the point is, like, manage your money, watch your money. Just because you're making it, don't spend it. You know, you should have a rule, bring some money in every commission check. You know, if you get a check for, let's say, $10,000, put 30 to 35% away for taxes. Just stick it away right then. You won't miss it. Don't say, well, I'm going to use this on my next check. I'll double it and put it away. Don't do that, because listen, it's not going to happen, because I've been there. It's not going to happen. Okay. So I woke up one day. Well, I back up for a minute. I was buying investment property, and I was renovating it and flipping it. And I found a house at Lake Norman, and I bought it with some partners, and we were going to renovate it and flip it. And they were guys on my team. And then after a while, I said, you know, I'd really love to have that house. I'd like to live on that lot. And they said, okay. And they withdrew from the contract, and I bought it myself. I tore it down, and I built this big 8,000 square foot home on Lake Norman. My plan was never to stay living there, because I mean, I don't have any kids, and I'm by myself. What do I need all that for? But I moved in the house, and I planned that in 2 years I would sell the house. I swear to God, the day that I was going to put the house on the market, it was like the real estate market, everything just shut off. Okay. But I had saved some money, and I thought, you know, that will be my survival. But you guys, that money didn't last. It would not last.
What year is that? What year?
I think it was like 2009.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I said, well, I loved RE/MAX, but at that time I was giving them a lot of money. I was giving them over $100,000 a year in fees and commissions. And so it was a hard conversation, because I'd worked for them for 11 years, and I went to them and I said, I have to leave, you know, and they thought I was nuts. I probably was nuts, opening up my own firm during all this when I'm losing everything. Okay. And, you know, it was hard, because I opened my own firm, and I've always been transparent about what's going on. So at that time I was getting a divorce. I filed bankruptcy. I changed firms. I was trying to recruit agents. And believe it or not, there were other agents in the market that would take the time to create fake email addresses to send me the most absurd emails about, you know, well, oh, I can't believe you're opening this firm, and, you know, you're filing bankruptcy and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they were just mean. But you know what? That kind of fueled my fire a little bit. I felt sorry for them, you know, because I always live in my own bubble. You know, I don't worry about, the only people I worry about is my family, and that my team is part of my family, and my real family, my blood family. The other people, you can judge me all you want, but you're not the ultimate judge. You know what I'm saying? So have at it. So anyways, I mean, I just kept going. I lost my house. I lost my cars. I lost things I shouldn't have bought. Boats, motorcycles, RV, all kinds of crap I should have never bought. Okay. But I learned. So today I have a new appreciation for money. As all that was going on, you know, it was really hard. It was hard to get up every day and go to work and go to people's homes that were in the situation of foreclosure, short sale, and have to have a smile on my face. But what it did do is I learned to reach across the table and put my hand on their hand and say, hey, John, I've been there. We're going to get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And there really was. Because when I came out of it, I have a whole new appreciation for everything. I did go to the Peace University with, what's his name?
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. I did go to this. Read the book. I mean, it's so basic. Make sure you have $1,000 saved for an emergency, because most people don't. I know there are some people on this call right now, you don't have any money in your bank account. I know that because I've been there. So Dave Ramsey says have $1,000 saved for a family emergency, because in today's world, if your car breaks down, a lot of people, they couldn't even pay for that. $1,000 would totally wreck their world, okay? He goes on to say, pay your debts with the highest interest rate. Call them and try to negotiate a deal. Try to get that, you know, see if they'll give you a lower interest rate or give you a payoff, and start from the highest and pay them down and go. And then live debt free. Try to live debt free. Now it's hard because, you know, we got cars and houses and whatever, and that's a big thing to pay off. But the way I run my business today is that, I think I said this on the call Monday, sit down and make a list of every recurring expense that you have for your business, okay? And then look at it and see if you really need that. See what it brings you. You know, a girl on my team, she was paying for some newsletter or something. And last week she called me. I didn't know she had she was doing this, and she called me and she was in tears. She said, I pay $175 a month for that. Nothing's happening. I said, then what are you paying for it for? Get rid of it, you know? But again, that's a benefit of being on the team. She doesn't really need to do that. She doesn't need to go out and market herself and do all this kind of stuff, because I'm willing to take the risk and spend the money. But I have learned what works and what doesn't, and I'm real careful. When people call me and they want to sell me leads or they want to sell me a system, I always say to them, I'll make a deal with you. You let me try it out for 3 months. And if it works as good as you say it will, I'll commit to a year. I'll even pay you up front for the year. They're like, well, I can't do that. If they're not willing to do that, then I'm not willing to play with them, okay? It's the people that I think really have a good product that they will do that. So in managing your money, look at your expenses. Get rid of the stuff you don't need. Listen, you all got stuff you don't need. I think Michelle Kelly's raising her hand. Is she going to say something?
No, I was saying that was awesome. Well, actually, a lot of things you're saying are awesome. But about the, you know, when the lead companies call you, and yeah. that's awesome.
I always
besides
ask
everything
them.
else you're saying is amazing. Yeah,
I'm
good.
sorry?
I like that. So besides the fact everything else you're saying is really amazing. Good
well,
stuff.
You know what, Michelle, thank you. But you know what it is because as agents, we get this ego about us. Like, listen, what do you think I was like when I was making $100,000 a month? I was a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought I was untouchable. You know, when I opened my own firm, I hired a woman who had been my broker in charge at one time. And when she came to work for me as my closing coordinator at my company, it's Carol Smith, and I don't know if any of you know her, but you can, I mean, this is a true story. I sat her down, I said, Carol, I said, now that it's on the other side, like I'm running a firm, I said, I really owe you an apology. I said, I thought I was such a prima donna and thought I was so great. And you know, so that happens, you know, you get to where you have this big ego, and then you don't want someone to know that you really can't afford to spend $8,000 a month on Zillow leads or something. So you do it, you know, but now it's like, I don't care. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying that. So let's get back to this. Look at your expenses, negotiate with any vendors. If they call you, try to see if they'll give you some free time. If they won't, what discount will they give you if you pay for a year in advance? Or if you pay them cash versus a credit card, because using a credit card costs them more, right? So it's just, the way I run my business is so different now. I keep all my business expenses for my team on one credit card. And I look at that credit card and I scrutinize it. And you know what? I find mistakes. And I think, gosh, before when I was making all that money, I was like, woo-hoo, just pay it. I didn't care. I probably wasted so much money by paying for stuff that I didn't use. And now, you know, I'm not afraid to call somebody and say, you know, I signed up for this. I didn't use it, blah, blah, blah. Can you give me a break? Can you refund my money? And you know what? They will, they do. All you have to do is ask. So the name of the game is having money at the end of the day, okay? You know, thank God that my 401k was protected from my bankruptcy. Otherwise, you know, I would have been in a bad spot. But here's about running a team. How many of you right now, even as sole proprietorships, like if you don't have a team, are you incorporated? Are you an S, a C, an LLC? Okay, John, what are you?
LLC.
LLC. LLC. Okay, Frederick, what are you? S Corp. I could read your lips. Okay. Well, I got incorporated early on. How many of you that have businesses or that are, you know, an organization, do you give yourself a paycheck? How do you pay yourself? Lee, you give yourself a paycheck. Anybody else? All right, I use a payroll company that does my payroll, pays me and my assistant. I also have a 401k that I contribute to. Why? Because all this cuts down on my taxes. See, we're just used to getting the money and using that commission check to invest more in our business. We've got all our credit card commingled per, you know, you went to Macy's and then you paid for realtor.com on the same credit card. You don't do that. Have one card. It doesn't have to be a business card. It doesn't have to say, you know, Heidi Hines Inc. on it. It can just have, you know, your name on it, but just use it for your business. And what I've done also is I use a card for my business that's cash back.
Heidi, that's a great point. And I wanted to bring Lee in. Lee, if you're there, can you elaborate on that? Because I know Lee actually spoke about the importance of doing this even for new realtors, right? Right, Lee, in terms of incorporating and keeping everything separate?
Yeah, it's just for tax purposes. Years ago, when I first got into real estate back in 84, 85, I took this tax course for real estate agents. And what they recommended is exactly what Heidi said. Get a credit card, even if it's not your corporate card, just keep track of everything. And the other thing that's really helpful is they just said, take an envelope, a big manila envelope, and each month stuff in all your receipts, all your expenses, and you got them separated by month. So at the end of the year, it cuts down your tax time considerably. Now, another thing, you know, I got in real early with my corporation, and I'm an S Corp. And I can't remember what my retirement thing is, but it's basically I can only put away 25% of what I pay myself. I pay myself a monthly salary. And the thing that the laws changed or the programs changed and I never kept up with it. But I believe a 401k is much more advantageous than what I have. I can't remember what the name of my program is, but by the time I discovered that, I was so late in life, it's not going to make any difference.
You might have a Roth, but how many of you have any kind of retirement plan, like a 401k or something real?
Well, I do, but
okay. All right. And did you have those from other jobs that you left and you still have them?
No, actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the screen too, but did anyone start it while you were in real estate?
Hey, Heidi, can I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
So I worked a job, got a 401k, and then I called the 401k company, which is Vanguard, and said, hey, I'm leaving. Can I copy? Can I duplicate? Can I set up a separate 401k that I can pay into? They said yes. And they sent me the forms. They matched what I had in my previous, I still have the 401k, but they matched all the investors into that one. So now I have two 401k. One I can't pay into because it was from another company, but it matches everything. And I pay into the new one. So every time I get a commission check, part of that goes into that 401k.
Right. And then at the end of the year, you get to match it. Can I ask you, like, are you under 50 or over?
I am 55 years. I'm okay.
Okay. So you get to do the catch up. You get to put, you know, the extra 6,500 a year in there. So that's good. And then like for me, my company does a safe harbor match. So I get to put more money in there. And here's the other thing. If you have an employee, if you get like an assistant, after they've worked a certain amount of hours, they qualify for that 401k. Most real estate assistants working for an agent don't get that. So my assistant, she's got a nice little nest egg. I convinced her, I said, out of every check, just let me take $40 and put it in there. because at the end of the year, I have to match it. Plus, because I do profit sharing, I have to contribute something that to her. So, you know, she likes that. So that's another benefit for her to stay with me. It's just like at EXP, you know, we attract agents. They stay because of their downline, because of their rev share, because of their stock. So my assistant now, who also is licensed, and she's in my downline, and, you know, she's starting to do some stuff, but she's got that 401k. So you have to think of your team. It's your business. It's not just a game where you're one agent and you just get a bunch of agents to work leads for you and you play games. It's a real business. And so set it up like one. Talk to your CPA, talk to your financial advisor, but, you know, please do that. And please get yourself something set up for retirement where you're putting money aside, because how many people, you know, they don't have anything after retirement. It's like what I said on Wednesday. I had a coach and he told me, Heidi, I see all these agents going across the stage picking up their awards and they have no money. I mean, when I get done selling real estate, I'm going to enjoy my life and I'm not going to struggle. And, you know, I pray that I can have a few more years like I did when I abused that money, because I won't abuse it again. But right now, you know, from then until now, I mean, that's been 11 years with my new respect for money. I mean, I'm very close to my financial freedom because I've lived my life a different way and respected money differently. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that I came to EXP, because I could see the value in that revenue share. Because every time I brought an agent to RE/MAX, the owner's wife took me to lunch at the Ballantyne Country Club. Whoop, whoop, that's all I got, okay? And so, and I had a crap load of, oh, Kathy, I love you too. I got a crap load of awards, and I did a video and I put it on Facebook, and the award was like, well, I have all these awards and what are they worth? I tried to take this one when I made $1 million to Wells Fargo to pay off my house. They wouldn't take it. You know, I was making jokes about all these plaques and stuff I had, and I put it on Facebook, and all of my old RE/MAX friends blasted me. They didn't like that, but those things aren't worth anything. So the only person you need to compete with is yourself, and you need to watch how much money you're saving. This is key. If you're not saving any money, then what are you doing this for? Ask yourself that. If you don't have any money, what are you doing this for? It's not about being number one. It's not about how many people you have in your downline. It's not about how many deals you've had. It's about having fun. It's about living your life. And, you know, sometimes you might not want to do a deal because you want to go live your life. Like now, I go on vacation every year. I leave for about a month. And I could care less what happens. I told my assistant, I said, the only time you need to call me is if like somebody dies. If the office is burning down, don't call me because nothing I can do. Now, they thought it was funny. This morning, they called me, 2 of them on a conference call, and said, oh my God. I said, what? They said, the office is on fire. And you know what? I said, call the fire department. I'm in Las Vegas. And they started laughing. They thought they'd get more of a rise out of me. But what can I do? So life is short. You know, we're not doing heart surgery. We're just helping people buy and sell real estate. If the sign falls down, if there's a mistype in the brochures, I mean, are you going to die? Put it in perspective. But this is about you. This is about you and your business. If you bring people onto your team, you need to worry about them too, because you need to make sure they're good. Jennifer Stafford, she's working herself to death. I tell her all the time, put the phone down, pay attention to your husband, and leave real estate alone. It'll all be okay. You know, Alexa's getting ready to have a baby. I told her, don't worry, we got you covered. You know, go have your baby. We'll watch your business. And when you're ready to come back, you're there. You know, so you gotta.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to make sure we hit that point, because I think that point is resonating with everybody here. It certainly resonates with me. And so I just want to repeat it of, you know, you're not doing heart surgery. Nobody is dying. You've repeated those quotes over and over. And I do think agents get so wrapped up that they do think they're doing heart surgery and that client is this, and they take a lot of pride in that. And I get taking pride in those things and executing at a high level. but absolutely you have to take some time for yourself and to step back and have that perspective that you're sharing with us. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Absolutely.
Well, you know, let me hit that point. I have a guy on my team. He has accounts with like 5 different asset managers. And he'll be in his office at 10 o'clock at night or something, because they'll give him a deadline. You know, when they have a foreclosure come in or something, they want it cleaned out and locks changed and all this 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. I told him, I said, I wouldn't do that. I said, the hell with it. I'm not doing that. 10 o'clock at night. Hell, I'm in bed.
Right.
And I told him, I said, you know, if you have a heart attack, if you die, they are not going to stop selling foreclosures. They're just going to get another realtor. Right. And, you know, like I farmed a neighborhood in Charlotte for like 21 years. And I really used to kill myself. I mean, these people, like I would, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, I've been on listing appointments, or I've had people at my house and someone wanted to go see property. And I've left the people at my house at my party and gone and showed. I mean, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. And you know what I realized? Like today, I don't live in North Carolina, but my team is there and I travel back and forth. Those people in that neighborhood didn't stop selling houses because I'm not there anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, everybody's replaceable. So enjoy your life, enjoy your business, save your money, and run your business like a business and focus on it. Even my team members, Alexa is new to my team. Jennifer, Tim, John, they're all incorporated. They all have retirement. You know, they're all being set up that way. And I help them with that. And you have to help your team members with that, because that's the way for success. If they're not successful, you're not successful either. You can't just get these people and use them to share in commissions so you can make more money. You have to nurture them. And that's a huge part of the team. And, you know, this is the hard part. When I was losing everything, when I lost my business, I mean, honestly, my husband, he worked for me then. And we needed money. And I said, he was a nuclear engineer. I said, you have got to go get a job. And he said, oh, I'm over 50. It's going to be hard. I said, well, you know what's going to be harder? Getting the hell out, because I can't afford to take care of both of us. I cannot pay for both of us. And he left. And then, of course, he got a job. But the hardest part when I was losing everything, at my big, beautiful house, I can remember sitting on the steps as people were just carrying my furniture out. You know, I sold it for nothing, like for what I paid for it. And they were just carrying stuff out. And I was just by myself. And you know what? But I had my team.
Yep.
And that's the support. Yeah. So you treat these people right, and they will be there for you. You know, you go through all kinds of stuff. So this is the hard part for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. What you're saying resonates like crazy. I mean, same thing. We walked a similar path. I don't want to step on your whatever.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Of 2009. And I wrote about it in my book. And the person that encouraged me to write that book said, be as vulnerable as you can. And so I hear you. You know, I don't want to step on your time, your moment, but absolutely.
No, and John, I'm glad you said it, because let me tell you something. I go to all kind of seminars and stuff. And I was at this seminar and I was listening to these agents that I always admired. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, they were just this and that and all that kind of stuff. And I'll never forget, I was in Colorado and it was like 2009 or 2010 when I had no money, but I found a way to get to that conference because I wanted to keep learning. So I'm listening to this person speak, and she's a huge Keller Williams person now, okay?
Right.
After the speech, I'm there talking to her and a couple other agents, and these are the agents that say, you know, I don't work after 5, I don't work on the weekends, you know, all that crap, you know, is not true.
Right.
So anyways, they're all talking about everything, about how they just bought their building and they did this and that. I said, you guys, I said, I don't know how you do it. I said, but because right now, like I'm losing everything. I'm just, you know, I'm filing personal bankruptcy and I'm just having all these problems. And, you know, they said, well, they looked at me and go, Heidi, we've all filed bankruptcy. And I thought, well, you got up there on the stage and you didn't tell that part of the GD story. You know what I mean? I mean, tell the truth, you know? So they wanted to get up there and talk about how their houses were paid for and they've got this and they've got that. But they didn't tell how they got there. They're like, I'm debt free. Okay, well, I could come here today and tell you I'm debt free. It wasn't because I paid off all the debt I got into. It's because I filed bankruptcy. Yeah. But you know, somebody said to me the other day, they said, Heidi, don't feel bad. They said, you know how many people, like successful business people, have had to go through that? And they have, and it's because I think that we start making money and we're not used to making that kind of money. I mean, I wasn't used to making $100,000 a month. I mean, I was crazy. If I told you the things I did and bought, and I mean, it was just like today, I would be embarrassed to do that, you know? So it's a new respect. And when you start making that, you can abuse it. So I'm just saying, get your ducks in a row, get your plan. Now, you know, Wednesday, I talked about having a business plan. Have it planned out, know where you want to end up, where do you want to go? Like, look at your age and see where you're going to go. I tell Jennifer all the time, she's not even 30. If she plays it right and she does what she's supposed to, by the time she's 40, she'll only be working because she wants to, not because she has to. And I got my real estate license when I was 38. And if I had not been a dumbass, if I had not abused it, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be talking to you today. I'd be like in Aruba or something, you know? Right. So, I mean, that's just a piece of advice, you know, from learning the hard way. And, I mean,
well, I appreciate
what more can I say?
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Heidi. Yep.
So I just hope that
important for everybody here to hear, especially the new people getting into the business. I think that's important. Like I said, I walked a similar path, don't want it, you know, but had all this money as well too. And now I am so much more wise, and my ego and all these things as well too, kind of thing. And now I'm so much wise and so much. So it's a good lesson for everybody here and a reminder.
Well, you know, on Wednesday, Lauren Rocco, she said, Heidi, you're so humble. And you know what? Because a huge fall like that will humble you. Sure. You know, first I was embarrassed and I tried to hide it from people. And then I was like, you know what? I don't care. If they don't like me because of that, I don't care. And so it's just changed my life, and it's given me like this freedom. And I love my life now. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so plan for your future. Don't worry about the other people. If you're a new agent, don't rob Peter to pay Paul. Start, and you know what? And don't listen to these people that say, well, if you don't spend any money, you're not going to make any money. No, you put that 30% away for taxes. Because let me tell you, when I first got in business, nobody told me that. Oh my God. I gave all my stuff to, I didn't have a CPA. I gave it to my dad's CPA. He did my taxes. He called me up. His name was, oh, it doesn't matter his name, but he called me up and he said, Heidi, I got your taxes ready. I said, okay, great. And this is how dumb I was. I go, how much am I getting back? He goes, Heidi, you're not getting money back. You owe $18,000. I was like, what? I owe $18,000? Where am I going to get $18,000 from? So here I was now. I had to ask my dad, can I please borrow $18,000? I got to take my tax bill. I got to pay my tax bill. So my second year in real estate, now I had learned a hard lesson. My second year in real estate, I'm saving money to pay my dad back, and I'm saving money for the next year's tax bill. You ever think that's happened to me again? No. Put the money away. Put the money away. And you know what else? When you start saying, oh, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 saved, oh my God, you won't want to buy anything. Because, and before I did, because I was buying everything. But now, like when I save money, I don't want to buy it. I don't want to spend my money. I want to keep my money. I do. I like looking in there and seeing I have some money, and you'll feel it and you'll like it. And so, you know, run your business like a business and get set up now. Get a payroll company. If you need a payroll company, call me. I'll hook you up with someone. Get a CPA, get incorporated, you know, get your ducks in a row.
Yeah. And Heidi, I was going to say that this has been amazing. All the feedbacks and the comments I can see is just like, just appreciating how open you're being on all of this. And I really appreciate you being open on it too. And I want to make sure that for those people out there that are asking for recommendations, I see Christina earlier was asking for some recommendations, and people are asking, you know, who to use as a CPA, kind of like what are the standards to follow and those kinds of things. You know, we have that Facebook group as well, right? Where, you know, as you guys see the real estate agents, our public mastermind there. We could share some of those things. If you perhaps have some people to recommend, Heidi, would you mind sharing them in that group, and we can kind of use that as a place to get that information?
Yeah. And you know what? Like I'm reading the messages here, like you know, some people have lived through it. They love Dave Ramsey and like about the vendors. I'm gonna put my phone number here. I'm gonna put my Las Vegas number because I like that phone better. It's newer. But so here it is. You guys can call me. You can text me. You can whatever. And you know, and I'll help you however I can. And but I don't know. That's my story.
Awesome,
you
Heidi.
know.
Well, I wanted to jump in, Heidi, to kind of, I know we're getting at the end of our time. Awesome stuff. As I always say, there's like, because we're talking about teams and growing of teams. And I always say there's like two type of real estate agents. There's two types. There's the transactional agent, which I think you touched on. You get it, you get your check, you're this and this. And then there's the business agent. You set things up, you treat it as a business. And what you've even done is, I want to make sure this tone goes as we leave here as well too, is you built a team. See, what I also think is important, and I appreciate everything you're sharing, but you didn't just wrap your arms around and said, oh no, no one's getting in. This is it. I got to protect myself and stuff. You kept your arms open. It made you vulnerable, and it allowed you to put your ego to the side and open up. And I assume as you did that and brought people in and built your team, you ended up making more money than even just doing it alone. Would that be a correct assessment?
Yes, because you can't do it by yourself. And let me tell you something. I have one guy. He's been with Tim Brown. He's been with me 21 years. He does not need me. And of course, I mean, I can tell, I know how much money I make from him every year. And I'm sure he knows, because he's not, you know, he's not stupid.
Right.
But I've asked him before, why don't you leave? Why do you stay? And he said, I can't leave because you taught me everything and you're my family. You can't buy that. But you get that from being honest with people.
Yep.
You know, you get that from sharing with people. And like as a team leader, there have been, like when I filed bankruptcy and I was broke, and I had to say to Tim and John, because they've been with me the longest, I said, guys, I don't know how I'm going to do anything. You know what? John Green gave me an American Express card with a limit of like $40,000. And he said, you take this card and you do whatever you need to do. And I paid him back. It took me like 3 years to pay him back. But I mean, you can't buy that kind of loyalty or friendship. But I got that because I treated them right. And Tim is still with me today. And even today, like since I'm not there, John's kind of stepped into the role of, you know, taking over things. And so, you know, I mean, it's still in my name. I do come back and forth to North Carolina. I planned on coming every month. You know, my family lives there. My father's 90, he's there. But now with COVID, my dad said, if you come on an airplane, I'm not hanging out with you. So I did drive over there once. I'm not doing that again. No. So I just can't wait till, you know, it's over, you know, so we'll, but yeah, be transparent. Like, don't try to hide it from your team members that you're suffering financially or that there's an issue. Let them know, because if you're suffering financially and you can't provide for them, they're going to feel it and they're going to leave you. And you don't want that. You rather tell them the truth, and maybe you can band together and make something happen. So somebody on here.
I did.
There she is.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I don't talk that much, but I just wanted to say something because it's Team Appreciation Week to me now, since we've been doing this. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I got my license about 3 years ago after a 1-month trip to London. I was looking at all these firms over there. I was like, wow, you know, I'm going to go back to America. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to move somewhere else and go do real estate wherever I want to. So when I got back, I worked harder than I ever have before to ever pass a test, because it is an unbelievably hard test. I got my license. I was selling cars for 6 years, so I quit. And I signed up with the firm. I don't know if I should mention them or not, but they put a very bad taste in my mouth because—
Who was it? I like to know.
It was Keller Williams at Fort Mill. Fort Mill, yeah. And after they, you know, they showed me around the office, I'm like in awe of everything. And they introduced me personally to everyone. And I was like, wow, everyone's really friendly and nice. And so after I did the onboarding that afternoon, And it's my fault because I didn't go to enough firms, I guess, but I really had faith in them. I felt like they wanted to kind of help me. And I paid my dues and got started up. So I was there for like a month. After the first day, when I went back to the office, nobody knows me. Nobody's willing to help me with anything. I didn't even know I couldn't pick up the phone calls there, risking my license because it's based in South Carolina and I didn't have my South Carolina license. So like, why has no one told me this? And so I had absolutely no information on what to do next. So I was doing that for a month. I was like, well, it really put a bad taste in my mouth for real estate. It really did. And I was eager to learn, eager to get into it. So I went crawling back to my job at Hyundai, got my job back from my boss. So did that for another 3 years, selling vehicles. And my brother was finally like, I have my friend Nick, who he loves to death. He's like, he does great work. He's like, I want you to talk to him. He'll get you started, you know. And I'm like, no. Like, they already got all my money from me that one time. And I feel like none of these realtors were on my side trying to help me out. Sure. He was like, let's just go meet up with Nick. So thank God I met up with Nick because he is a great team leader. He has helped me. I've only been, since August, I signed back on with EXP. Well, I signed on to EXP in August. And I've already, they've pushed me very hard. Like, I had my first listing. I painted my sign, and Nick was like, I'm not going to have you out here on my team with a painted sign. So he bought me 2 of them. Wow. And I didn't have the funds to do it because I had paid all my dues to start up. So the amount of, they push me so much, Nick and even Jacqueline, who helps me with all my contracts, like they have more faith in me than I have at this time because there was that disconnect of what I learned 3 years ago versus applying it into today and how to really maneuver as a realtor. But since August, I feel like I'm grown so much and I have so much more faith in myself because my team wants me to grow and do good. So I just want to say thank you.
And you will, because I see you on here all the time, and you will. And Nick, you what you've done, you will never. You can't buy that. That's awesome.
No, you
That's
cannot.
Awesome.
And he really made me believe in trusting people again. Even you guys and the plethora of information I get from these meetings and going on to EXP University, there's always great conversations on there if I ever have a question about anything. So when I started and I told agents I was new and I was with EXP, I told Nick this. They're like, oh, you shouldn't be with EXP because you're a new agent. They don't care about anybody.
Oh, they don't know
themselves. And I'm like, it's not a pyramid scheme when everyone above you needs you to sell homes to get paid. I was like, it's in their best interest to help me as well. And my team is very small. I mean, of course, all of you are in it, but within Nick.
Listen, that's why I said when I finally, said, okay, Bill, tell me what it's about. I'll finally listen to you a year later. I was so mad at him that he didn't make me listen when he tried to tell me about it because I could have made so much more money because instead of going to lunch at the Valentine Country Club, I could have been collecting residual, right? So Nick, John, I want to ask you a question because I don't know everybody on here. Is everybody on here EXP or there are some people that are not EXP? Do you know the names?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but.
Anybody not EXP here?
What?
I was saying, is there any, what's that?
I'm not EXP yet, but I'm looking at them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, welcome. You're going to see we do a lot of sharing here and a lot of growing.
And yes, I just listened to a call an hour ago, so it was wonderful.
Yeah. Good. And I want to say this too, because and I truly mean this, and I know I could speak for I know Bill just jumped off, but he was on here too. Bill, Heidi, John, Lee, Lauren, everybody on this call, Kathy Burns. I mean, literally everyone on this call. We're all one big family and one big team, and I would go, give the shirt off my back to help any of you guys, and I know that everyone on this call would do the same, and that's something that we want to continue to grow this culture in these calls. So yeah, if you have other colleagues and realtors that that you work with that are maybe feeling a little bit lost and they're like, you know what, I'm not getting that help or support. This is why we do these calls. We learn together, we grow together. As John Smith says, we push together, we help each other grow. And that's why we're here. So, we don't just, I don't get up and, okay, I might be wearing shorts, but I am wearing a nice shirt, and I did my hair today and John got dressed up, he's got his Morgan Smith, and Heidi got on. She was 20 minutes early in my Zoom call while I was on another meeting and had to leave my other meeting to jump on with her to get ready for this call. Like we don't do this just because we love to be on Zoom. We do this because we truly want to help everyone. And hearing that from Preeti, I hope, and like Frederick and everyone in the comments saying, like, I hope this kind of call, I know we talked a lot about teams and all kinds of stuff, but I hope it just inspires you, motivates you to really want to plug in more and engage. And if you need the help, please never be afraid to ask for it. And like Heidi said, you can reach out to me, John, anybody in this call, and, we're all willing to support and help each other. So, yeah. And with that, because it is almost 12 o'clock and I want to be respectful of everybody's time, Heidi, I'll let you take us out of here. But I just want to say thank you from me, for everybody on here, for being here this morning. We appreciate your time, and we hope that this really helps, inspire and motivate everyone on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Anything else, Heidi?
It's not brain surgery. It's not heart surgery. That's it. Enjoy your life.
I love it. All right, guys, we'll see you next week on Monday.
That was so great.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Good stuff.